So Jake, we are thinking of getting a dog. What do you think about that?
Well, that could be a good idea. Dogs can make good companions.
Yeah, I think so. That's why we want to get one, but the problem is our apartment is really small. Do you think my apartment is too small for the dog?
It could be. Dogs can get very lonely too as don't take care of them.
Yeah, everyone keeps warning me about the fact that not only is my apartment small, but I am not home a lot and either is my fiancé, so the dog will be home a lot of the time by itself.
Well, then maybe you would better reconsider getting one.
But they are so cute, and I shall walk it in the morning and when I come home from work. I mean, do you think that that will be okay for the dog?
Well, I am not so sure. Personally, I don't really see what's so great about having a dog anyway.
Oh, what? You don't like dogs?
Not really. I mean, well, first of all, I'm a little bit afraid of them. I think maybe I was attacked when I was very young, but I don't like them very much.
So you are afraid of them, or you don't like them, or both?
Both. I think also, sometimes they are kind of dirty inside of the house. They leave lots of pet hair and sometimes they are not properly toilet trained.
Well, of course. They are like babies. You have to train them to go outside, but once they are trained they can be wonderful companions, and I don't know, they are pretty soft and cute and lovable.
But I don't think it's worth the extra work. You have to clean up after them and of course, like you said, you have to train them.
But a dog will always love you. There's not another animal that's like that. That will always love you no matter what. Don't you think so? Can you think of another animal that will always love you?
Cats maybe.
No way. Cats are so finicky. Cats don't really like you, I feel like. I feel like the dog is there right when you walk in the door waiting for you to come home. A cat is out next door walking on the fence. They don't care about you.
Yeah, you are right. I think dogs are more friendly than cats overall.
I think you are just afraid of dogs, because you have not had a good experience with a dog. But if I get a dog, then you can come to my house and play with my dog.
I am sure I would like your dog.
Oh, good. Okay. So please come to my house and play with my new dog, if I get one. I'm not sure yet.
So, Jeff, we are talking about your trip across the Amazon. So you met this guy, this Russian guy, who was going to go with you across the Amazon, and you were in Lima, Peru, so how does your journey start? The beginning of the journey is we had to get a truck. We had to get in a truck and the roads are terrible. They are not really roads. They are dirt tracks, and because it was monsoon season, the roads were really bad, just muddy and deep mud, and the rivers were overflowing across the road, so there's no buses. There are no cars. So we had to get in the back of a big truck, a logging truck, and the Russian guy and myself and say 20 peasants, Inca Indian peasants, rode in the back of the truck through the Andes Mountains and then down the backside of the Andes Mountains for 4 days in the back of this truck. That must have been so uncomfortable. Oh, it was terribly uncomfortable, and it was raining quite often during the day, so you had to pull a big piece of plastic over the back of the truck, so it was dark and wet and damp and hot and humid and the road was bumpy and the truck got stuck many times, and it was a real adventure. That was for 4 days? 4 days, yeah. Yep. And you would sleep in the truck overnight, and everyone had big bags of food with them so they could eat along the way 'cause there's no restaurants. Yeah, it was interesting. So, in this rough beginning to the trip, did you start to think maybe you wanted not do it, postpone it, and go back? No, I never thought that. I like that kind of challenge and adventure, but you just wonder how difficult it's going to get because each day gets a little more difficult and then the truck gets in really deep mud and you wonder, can we get out of this? Are we going to have to start walking and maybe wait for another truck to come along and climb into that truck? So you never? I did not want to go back, but you just... It's great suspense 'cause you never know what's going to happen on a trip like that. And then the truck took you all the way to the beginning of the Amazon. Yep. It was a transport truck, so it had supplies and it was going to a little town at the Amazon River, and then from there we transferred into a canoe, a wooden canoe, and the canoe would take the supplies into the little villages along the Amazon River. Amazing. So, Jonathan, what is home for you? Where is home for you?
Where is home for me? Actually, I would have to say that I'm homeless.
Homeless? What do you mean homeless?
Well, I don't call one particular place home. I pretty much live out of a suitcase. I don't have roots holding me to one particular place. I was born and raised in Toronto, but from a very young age I was traveling for different purposes, some for the work that I was doing, some for just pleasure travel, and even now when I go back to Toronto, it does not really feel like home. In fact, people comment about my accent, and they say, "Oh, that's an interesting accent. Where you are from?" And I say, "Well, I'm from here."
So where do you split most of the majority of your time? Where's your base?
Well, I don't really have a base. That's the thing. I spend about 4, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, months in Japan, and I usually visit my parents for about a month a year, sometimes in Canada where they spend spring, summer, and early autumn, and sometimes in this small little town in Mexico that they like to go to avoid the harsh Canadian winter.
So, you and, in between those times, in between Mexico, in between Canada, in between Japan, where are you?
Wherever I sort of feel like going. Now I don't draw the kind of salary that allows me to live a glamorous lifestyle and travel around the world with the jet set, but I can certainly go and spend several months a year in different destinations, living a very basic existence but having enough time to be able to travel around and stay in simple accommodation, go out and hit the bars at night, talk to the people I meet in those different areas. At different times I have different interests.
So that sounds like a pretty exciting, pretty fun life. Do you ever get tired of it?
I think that it's the kind of life that does not appeal to everyone, and some people think I have this wonderful, fantastic life all the time. Sometimes, I would like to work a little bit more. Sometimes, I think, oh no. I have nothing to do for the next 3 months.
Except for travel.
Yes. And as of now, this work that I am about to do finishes in a couple of days, and people have asked me, Where am I going afterwards? And my honest answer is I don't know. I literally have no idea where I am going to be 4 or 5 days from now, and I have no idea what I shall be doing for the next 3 months until I need to be back in Japan for work 3 months from now.
Well, good luck on your next trip.
Thank you.